boy B Wills, Brian, my man here, the spearhead, the CEO, the man, Daniel Allen, and of course we got the brains of the outfit right here, Nathan Hicks.
Yes, sir.
We got, hey, so check this out. Today we're coming to you, we're going to talk about some life stuff. We want to talk to you about the climate of the country. Kind of just talk about some opinions. So let me say this, let me preface it by saying this. We don't bash anyone. We're not bashing any political parties. We're just giving our opinions on how we see the country as it is right now. And maybe, maybe some of the ideas that we talk about today, who knows who's going to see this, maybe they'll be able to say, hey, you know what, that sounds like a good idea. And then we can go to the White House and get, one of the presidential thingies.
Yes.
But anyway. But no, we want to talk about it because that's a big topic. Everybody's talking about what's going on. And, the tariffs is a very, if no one, I can guarantee you that no one even knew about tariffs until
now.
Until now. And it came on the wrong end of understanding tariffs, but nonetheless, a lot of people are not educated on tariffs. So Nate, I want you to kind of talk about what you feel. How do you feel that the country is moving with these tariffs in place?
I feel that sometimes we as Americans we don't get the full scope or the full truth of tariffs. From the politicians, it makes it seem like tariffs are a good thing. Tariffs are not a good thing because, believe it or not, those prices do come back to the consumer. Mm-hmm. No corporation is going to eat the cost like that and still give you low prices. Yeah. It just doesn't work in a capitalism country, and that's what we are. So it's about making money. Anybody that's in business, they're about making money. So guess what? I'm going to apply that increase that I'm being charged. I'm going to provide it back to the consumer. And I speak of this as experience. Okay, many years ago, I used to work for this company, and we used to have sales. They sold office furniture. And we used to have this big sale at the end of the year out of our showroom to get rid of that so we can bring in the new furniture that was coming in for that year. So this is what we would do is we have this big sale, we were marketing, let the people know at Merchandise Market, we're selling it, come out, different companies will come out and buy it. But guess what we did? We increased the price of it, which they didn't know. We would increase it by 30 or 40%. Yeah. So we could make money off the furniture that was in the showroom, and the showroom was brand new furniture. So I say that from experience that no company is ever going to eat the cost. You as a consumer is going to eat, and that's something that you should be really concerned about because that's more money coming out of your pocket to pay for food, gas, little things that you love and to have in your house. He's talking about raising the price of the iPhone. Where do you think that cost is going to come from? It's not going to come from the people that make them. It's going to come from us. We still got to pay for it.
Yeah. So with these tariffs that are in place, and you think about it, how prices have started to increase already, do you see any time in the near future where maybe Congress will say, you know what, maybe it's time to pull a plug?
This is just my opinion, y'all. You can take it however. It's my opinion. This Congress that's in session now, no. They so far behind this individual that they don't realize the people that put them in office are the people that they're hurting. Mm-hmm. It's more like for my own personal political gain. If I give this person what they want, then guess what? Maybe I can be elevated. Look at his cabinet. His cabinet changed and said, okay, I am going to give him everything he wants. I'm going to serve the king. And the king puts me in office, put me in position that I know I'm not qualified for. Mm-hmm. That's just like saying I'm going to be the Secretary of Education. How can I be the Secretary of Education when I don't know it? But that's just an opinion.
I don't think it matters.
Exactly, like I said, I tell our audience that I'm a little older. So back in the day, you had to be qualified for these positions. Yeah. You didn't just walk in because I contribute to your campaign and I gave you
Or I
extra
like
money,
you.
or I like you,
right.
Yeah.
I got the job.
Yeah.
That's called almost
mean-
like a part of nepotism. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
It's like if you're gonna be a secretary of education, at least have been a teacher,
Right.
Some experience.
something, a school administrator.
Something.
Have something to-
Have an idea what teachers do and go through.
Who does
It's
that?
like, right, if
Oh,
you're gonna be the Secretary of Defense, at least have some military background.
experience.
And, you know, how can you? It's like somebody coming in and then you can relate to this. It's somebody coming in and being over the police department,
Right.
but they just came from managing Kroger,
Right.
or Jewel, and now they your big boss, and they're telling you how to dictate.
That kind of happened before on a community policing. Somebody was hired to run community policing and never was the police
Oh,
and
wow.
never worked as a civilian for the police department. And you wanted me to listen to this person. I wasn't going to do it. No.
Of course not.
No. A, you don't know more about policing, that's for sure.
Mhm.
And B, you don't know about community policing as much as I do. So, no, I'm not listening to you. I'm sorry.
It's like, how healthy is it for the country to have people in positions that know nothing about the positions that they hold?
Exactly.
It's because it doesn't affect them, because they're going to get that good check.
Right.
But the people that are under them, and mostly the middle class, are usually the ones that suffer
Amen.
when you have these people in positions that know nothing about it. So what's happening is that they're being dictated to
Exactly.
what to do, what to say, and how does that always end up?
Trash.
Bad.
You know, so it's like, you know, I think right now America is you're kind of seeing a turn where people are starting to be more vocal. If you look at the TikToks, you look at the IGs, the threads, the
Yes.
reels and stuff, people are starting to, everyday people are starting to speak up about how they feel. So this isn't anything that's new.
Mm-mm.
Everybody right now is having a voice, an opinion of what this thing is. So Dan, I want to ask you this, because again, this was Sergeant Dan, Lieutenant Dan, now retired Lieutenant Daniel Allen.
I don't feel retired. But okay.
Yeah, because you just do a lot. For what do you see with where we are with this administration? How does this affect the police force?
Well, it divides, that's for sure. And Lord knows we don't need no division amongst rank and file and police leadership. It divides because we have people that have culturally been brought up another way. And then people that's been brought up culturally another different way. And then with this current administration, it kind of leads towards a lot of divisiveness right now that's taking place in law enforcement, and it challenges, especially when you think about the DEI stuff. So now what it does is challenges minority leadership.
Yeah.
So if you are a commander, lieutenant, sergeant, now you got people looking at you based upon your race, like, was you really qualified for this position?
Mm-hmm.
And now policing there's no room in policing to have people challenging you and you trying to save the lives of people. You know what I'm saying? You know, so but that's what's happening right now.
So now you have divisiveness, or there's a dividedness in the police department itself. Does that further create a wedge between police and community?
It can, because community policing is already a tough job as it is, because there's not a total buy-in with community policing with police officers. Some officers, when they look at community policing, they look at it as you're drinking a Kool-Aid. Officers used to actually tell me that, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid? Yeah, I did on 16th Street when I was a little kid.
Right.
I'm talking about. So what they're referencing when they say you're drinking the Kool-Aid is that you're buying into community rhetoric. That's basically what they're saying. You know, and that you're siding with people who you shouldn't side with. That's what they're saying. Which is not true. Community policing is bringing together, is bridging the divide. That's why, as a retiree, I'm still doing community policing as a consultant when I have time. But that's one of my plans, because I know that it's hurting. It's still hurting right now because of what's going on. So
And that's good. And I'm glad you mentioned that DEI, because that's another that right now that is like the one of the top two biggest issues outside of tariffs that we're having in the country. So Nate, I want to pose this to you, and then I'm gonna come back to you because I got a good question for you.
Okay.
With this DEI stuff that's happening right now, do you believe, or what are your thoughts on people that are actually of color, right,
Mhm.
that are in high positions and they're being looked at now, like Dan said, they're being looked at as though, did you really get this position honestly? Um, do you think that it leads them to try harder to keep a position, or do you think it deters them away from even wanting the position anymore?
I think personally I think it's harder for them now because they work so hard to get those positions. I think one thing my other persuasions of different community don't realize is, as an African American, whether you're male or female, we have always been taught in our lifetime to work hard. If you want to obtain a position, you have to be better than the last person, or you have to be better than your counterpart, because they've already got a door that's already open for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to go in there being 10 times better to get those positions, knowing that majority of, I would say 99% of those people that are in those positions, they work for that position. They got the education, they got what was needed to do and the experience to do those jobs.
Amen.
Just like Lieutenant Allen, he didn't just come in off the street.
Right.
He
right.
worked his way up through the ranks. So the positions he went for and he got, he earned it. So there's a difference between, because my dad was on the job, hey, you here, or my dad was a lieutenant or a commander, guess what? You get to be this and you get to that. You bypass all that. Whereas most of your minorities, they don't get those opportunities to bypass those things. They have to work their way up. So it's the same way in the business world and just in life in general. We work hard to get those. So I feel bad when the people want to throw that out.
Yeah.
It discredit all the work that they put in to get to where they are. And to me, that's a discredit, and it's just wrong.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that people that have worked hard to get to where they are, they've gone to the schools, they've gotten the training, they've gotten the experience, and now they're being looked at as, okay, were you hired because of the color of your skin, or did you really get this job? I think it takes away from the pride of what you do,
Exactly.
especially if you love doing your job.
Right.
So Dan, I wanted to ask you this question, again, because it seems like this color thing is real, racism is real.
Yeah, it is.
This is just it's now, and it's more in the open now. Now the hoods are off.
Right.
Everything is out in the open. Do you see the divide in color as it pertains to in the police department? Let's say were you ever looked at as, or can you ever remember going through your different things that you've done and them saying Dan got it because he's a black man?
Well, I hate to say what I'm about to say. That didn't come from people that didn't look like me. That came from people that look like me.
That's true. It happens on both ends.
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That was my experience.
Mm-hmm.
When I got promoted to sergeant, I had people that looked like me say things that was like, "Oh, you only got promoted because you did this. You only got promoted." And they didn't look at the work that I did, all the work I did in TAC, all the work I did in special operations, all the undercover work I did. No, that didn't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing. No.
You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, it came from people that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't have the issue with the different persuasions. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. And that also came because I worked well with people of all races on the police department. I just had that when I was on a TAC team at 15, Caucasians, Hispanic, whatever. If my partner wasn't at work today, I could jump in a car with whoever,
Right.
you know, and I kind of carried that on, and you know, and they picked that up about me too.
Mhm.
Different persuasions picked that up about me. That's why I was called Danny. I wasn't
Mhm.
called Dan. They called me Danny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I didn't have that. I didn't have that issue, man.
That's something that's fortunate.
Yeah, that's definitely fortunate.
I'll say this. I'll go for that. You were blessed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or if it did, it was behind my back.
Right. But that you didn't get that type of again because you went a nice ways.
Yeah.
And did a lot of different things in the police department to get to where you were. I mean, 30 some years. That's you know, kudos to you. God bless your ministry. But anyway,
That's why I'm going to travel.
I don't blame you. Travel.
But I will say this too, to interject too. I think the reason I didn't have that problem is because most people of different cultures that was on the police department that knew Danny Allen recognized me for the work that I've done on the police department.
Mhm.
You know, because I worked TAC, because I worked in special operations, I worked in narcotics. It was a lot of younger officers of all cultures was actually like fascinated by the stuff that I
Right.
did. So I think that's probably the reason why I didn't have that. You know.
so I wanted for you, Nate, as a business owner, do you see any of that as far as being black owners of daycare center? Do you ever see any of that? Okay, he must have been able to get this because he is of color.
You know, we don't necessarily, if it is like Dan says behind our back, we don't see it in the forefront because we're located in Oak Park. Oak Park is so diversified with different things, so we don't necessarily see it.
Yeah.
And if, like I said again, if it's said behind our backs. We don't see it. But for the most part, I would have to say no, because with 95% of our clientele is Caucasian, and the other percentage is minority.
Oh wow, that's outstanding.
Now that's something that's different.
Yeah.
So you have a different perspective,
Right.
being a black owner, and you are definitely raising,
Exactly.
other ethnicities. Excuse me. I'm
But
talking
it comes
about
with a
that.
different, because it's a different culture. You can't necessarily, I guess, rear the same way we were reared, or the same way we would rear our nieces and nephews.
Mhm.
So because that's not the way they may do those things.
Mhm.
Like, you can't necessarily be raising your voice because that's not something that they do. Whereas at home and where we were brought up at, or where our nieces and nephews were, sometimes you have to raise your voice to get the point across.
Right.
Well, there they don't. You just have to learn how to maneuver through that culture.
Billy, stop.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's with any job. And I don't
Yeah.
think with even the police as being a business owner, that you have to understand the culture in order to understand how to talk to the culture.
Exactly.
Every culture isn't hands.
Mhm.
Some are, you gotta, be, have a nice even tone to talk to them. But again, it's understanding culture, and in understanding culture, what does it look like now with, how do you say we look right now as a people,
As a society as a whole.
as a society as a whole?
I know this is my response is a little bit off topic, but I think about medical. And with this administration, with past administrations, I have to challenge. The reason I'm bringing up medical coverage, it is so challenging that I think that's a representation of where the country is at. Other countries, to get surgeries or to see doctors, whatever, you ain't got to jump through loopholes like you do. My daughter needs a referral for something that she needs done. They told her to, and it's pretty serious. They told her the referral. The place that she called said, "Oh, well, we can see you in August."
Oh, wow.
But this is something that's kind of stressing her out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm trust me, I'm former law enforcement. I'm a man of God. I'm not condoning what happened to the New York CEO with the one that got killed because of the health care issue. But we have to do better. You know, if insurance is a tough thing with mental health, that can lead to crime.
Yeah.
That can lead to the state of the community, et cetera, et cetera.
Especially if they're not getting any help, and if
Right.
there's help available, it's not affordable.
And
Right.
even our seniors.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic.
And because it leads into why the middle and lower class are so upset because they can't get, or we can't get. I'm not going to say I'm in that class yet,
It's coming.
but that's why it's so frustrating in our level that it's so hard to get good health care and to get good healthcare workers. That's another thing. You know, that's far in between. I didn't know that the home healthcare worker force was so low right now.
Oh, it's hurting.
That's
It's hurting.
that they can't even get people in,
It's hurting.
and you can literally just go in. I just had somebody do it. They went in and applied last week, took the fingerprint stuff this week. Now they,
Getting the
you know,
science.
so it's not but that's scary. That's scary because the people aren't those specialized jobs that are out there. The people aren't taking them.
No.
You know, so it's like, again, when I say what we are as a culture, it's like we're not even career driven anymore. People don't care about careers anymore.
No, they come here about being an influencer.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So that, you know, that was out. You know, we just talking today. You know, we just
Yeah.
want to talk about what's going on. So, Nate, within the next 2 years, where do you see the country?
Hopefully, I'm hopeful and prayerful that there's a change, there's a turnaround. But because right now, it's pretty bad. Hopefully, with this next session of Congress that's coming up
Yeah,
for
coming up
election,
soon. Yeah, a couple of years
I
ago.
just think a lot of things can hopefully be changed. And I tell people all the time, the problem is, it's going to the things that the damage that he's done is going to affect us for years to come. And it's damage done.
So here's another question then to that. Do you think in some way, and hear me out, do you think in some way that this was actually a good thing that it happened?
What, the exposure?
As far as to expose what hasn't been, again, we've been running behind the machine
Yeah.
a long time. Now everything is coming to light.
Mm-hmm.
So as much it is about that person, it's about everything around that person that was already there in
Yeah,
place.
Right.
He-
yeah, that makes a
He
lot of
just
sense.
exposed what was like you were just saying, exposed what was already there.
Yeah.
So
for the
these
good
are-
and for the
For
bad.
bad, because you know every culture have what we call kitchen table talk,
Yeah.
and what they talk about in private
Yeah.
with their friends, with their boys, with ladies, with their girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's kitchen table talk, but it never leaves the kitchen.
Right.
Right.
This has left the kitchen,
Exactly. Yeah.
so it's out. So now people are showing you who they really are because they feel empowered to do so,
Mhm.
and it comes with all kinds of consequences.
It does, but it makes you, for me, I feel good because again, I'm seeing people now. They're having the conversation.
Yeah.
That's the one thing we always talk about.
It forced it.
Have the conversation now with this person where they are. Now people are coming out
Mhm.
and speaking their minds, speaking their displeasures. Now people are actually doing stuff.
Right.
Now they want to run. People want
Right.
to run for offices and
Right.
and do different things. So as bad as it is, sometimes they say sometimes you have to what you say they say shake the grass to rattle the snake.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's happening now.
Mhm.
That they shaking the grass, and now
All the snakes are coming
now
out.
we can have the conversations because I know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we can.
And I
do
know
this.
about this particular subject that I didn't know
No.
much about.
And there it is. Now the education comes in, and now it's a forced education because it's everywhere.
Yes.
It's everywhere on social media. You can't get away from it.
Yeah.
So again, as bad as I think it is, it's like I think America needed an awakening.
It did.
You know, we kind of got comfortable, got complacent, but now it's like, okay, now we see what it is. We can have the conversation. Okay, now what do we do about it?
How do we change this? How do we
Yeah.
help move it forward?
I think my last comment, I would say, as far as candidates go, that's going to be running for office. I don't understand, why can't we get candidates that's just like in the middle? Why do we gotta have left wing and that's pro this, and then you try to stuff things down our throat?
Right.
That first of all, it's not godlike. You know what I mean? For those that believe, whatever. Or if you just have values, how you gonna make me believe in what you want that ain't right?
Yeah.
You know. And then with the right wing, it's all about money and it's all about this. We need candidates that's gonna come in the middle to identify how can I help a little bit of everybody.
Right. How can I help to bring everybody together?
Yeah.
Like you said, my wife and I were talking about this, and I think what startled me is when we get these so-called Christian values, but it's like a Christian, you just putting on a coat and you take it off. You put it on when it works for you. You take it off when you don't want to be bothered
Right.
with it. And that's what I'm seeing now with the Christian nationalists, because, like you said earlier in a previous podcast, which you guys got to go back and look at on worship, you said something that was important when you mentioned how Jesus went to everybody.
Yes.
He was inclusive,
Yes.
not exclusive.
He's inclusive.
Right.
So you
Right.
that's what you said there. And that made so much sense. How could you say you're a body of Christ, you're a Christian, but if I don't view or believe the way you believe, then I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And when God said we all come together
Yeah.
and let's have discussions, I can see where you are and I can accept that. I think for me as a young 20-year-old, when I started working in corporate America, I realized I work with some of everybody.
Yeah.
Different religions. I work with the Catholic, I work with the Muslims, I work with the Jehovah's Witness. It's in an office. Everyone had different religions. I was brought up in a home of strict Christianity, Church of God in Christ. This is the way you believe, nothing else.
That's it.
Exactly. So when I got around those individuals
Right.
and I started listening to their conversation,
Yeah.
listening, and we started having a dialogue, guess what? I was like, okay, if this is the way you believe, the same way I believe, and this is what I was raised in, but this is what you were raised in, who am I to come against the way you believe in your God?
Right.
That's to me, that's not Christ-like. I'm not supposed to come here and say, no, the Muslim way is the wrong way. The Jehovah's Witness way is the wrong way. It's the wrong way for me,
Right.
Right.
but it may be the right way for you.
Exactly.
And I'm not the person that should be coming in there telling you no.
So what can we meet at? For a
Right.
particular topic.
And I learned that we had to come to a middle ground. Because
Yeah,
we
a
did
middle
have
ground.
discussions at
Yeah.
lunchtime,
Oh.
and we were all over the place.
You can agree to disagree.
And that's what it was. That's what you just said. We learned to agree to disagree. And we came in the middle.
Yeah.
And I think it boils down to simple respect.
Exactly.
That's really what it is. Respect where I am.
Exactly.
I respect where you.
you
I don't
are.
have to like where you are. You don't have to like where I am, but just respect it.
Exactly.
And I think we get along. So one of the things that just came out is that they want to put the Ten Commandments on the walls of the schools.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all heard
I
that.
didn't hear that one.
I
Yeah,
heard.
they want to put the Ten Commandments on the walls of the schools. And my thing is, it's funny that it's always they want to put the show of Christianity in the faces of the people, but they don't want to show Christianity in the face of the people. And it's crazy because in one of those commandments it says, "Love your neighbor as you love yourself."
Yeah.
That's one of the commandments that you want to put on the wall, but you don't emulate that word, which lets me know you're not a Christian.
Right.
You're somebody that wears a title. of
It's a
Christian.
title.
Your lifestyle isn't.
It doesn't match up to what you're saying.
It's not Jesus-like.
No.
So the reason why these people are fighting against it is not because of your belief.
Exactly.
It's because of what you don't stand for.
Right.
They don't see you standing for what you say. So you're a Christian nationalist, which I still don't understand.
I don't understand
What is a
either.
Christian nationalist? I mean, a Christian is a Christian.
Right.
I mean,
You ain't got to put nationalists behind
right.
it.
I mean,
Unless there's a hidden agenda.
Right.
Right.
So to me, I guess it means that the Christians with all the money.
Right.
Nationalists.
Right. It's like the mega churches or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, it doesn't make sense to put another title behind Christian. you're a Christian or you're
You're
not.
not.
There's no extra Christian or
No.
a supreme.
As a supreme
I'm a Christian African American.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that doesn't make sense. But again, they're trying to put the face of Christianity on walls, but they don't have it in their hearts.
They don't have it in there.
And it's obvious. And I think that's what, again, why the Muslims, why the Buddhists, and why the different religions are looking at us now like, y'all don't even believe in y'all God.
Right.
Right.
Y'all believe
Y'all hate each other.
Y'all hate each other.
Yeah.
But y'all love money.
Yeah.
I
That
always
ain't
tell
coming.
people one of the things that in my studies in college is I took a African study. Just wanted to learn about the continent and Africa itself, and which was one of my greatest subjects. I don't know why they
Same
want
here.
to take it out of the school, out of the
Same
history of schools. It was awesome. What I learned is people don't know this, but Christianity is one of the most babyest religion on the earth. It's not as old as people think it is. It's one of the baby religion, and because we learned all those things, which was really good. I studied Asian history, how their thing came about. I studied European history. American history is what you call a baby history too.
Yeah.
Asian and Africa have the oldest history. Not even the Europeans. Africa is the oldest history on the planet of the earth.
Absolutely.
Then the Asians are next. Then European history. But they said, like you said, America is the baby religion. But it's just so important to just know and understand education. Get an education, then you can understand what things are about and why things are happening the way they're happening.
And it's crazy because, and I'm sure y'all can attest to this, it's crazy that a nation that was built on "In God We Trust" don't trust God.
No, we don't even trust
They
them.
trust man.
So it's like I would really love to be in around the founding fathers to see what their mindset was when they decided to put down "In God We Trust." What? Because it's like, are you? Was it? I really would like to understand the mindset. Like,
Mhm.
what was your idea of "In God We Trust"? Was it a monopolistic thing, or was it to capitalize on the people, or was there anybody with a true heart for God, like for real?
Probably not.
I don't think it was.
I think it was
I just think it was words.
I think it was a motion a mission that they were working on,
Mm-hmm.
and in God we trust that this mission gonna take place.
And like I said, it comes back to it was just words. It wasn't.
It was a meaning.
I don't think it was a meaning of religion.
Yeah, not meaning of religion. It was a meaning of. It was a motive. It was motivation.
Exactly.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a motivational theme. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
That we're gonna make this country a success.
Exactly. In God we trust.
That is horrible. In good context, it makes sense. And God, I trust that this thing is gonna work.
Right.
But in that context, man, I'm okay. God, I need you to make sure that when we bring these slaves over, that they in order.
They in order.
And they workers.
Yeah. That was part of what we trusted.
it's
I'm gonna trust.
yeah, but they didn't. So you know, we've got a lot of conflict in the nation.
Yes,
But I do, again, I see that the conversations are being held by normal, everyday people, just like us, that are having these conversations and having these concerns. The next step now is to do something about it.
Right.
You know, raise up. And we've had this conversation on this podcast. Y'all need to go check out them other podcasts that we got, because we've actually had these conversations. Start raising up some of these younger people that actually have the communities and the nation at heart, that want of different nationalities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they said that America was a melting pot.
Why can't we be a melting pot? But
They
don't really want to.
No, because they done put different pots out. Okay, you over there, you over
Too
there.
many pots.
Right.
As they say from there, Brian, back in the day, too many pots in
Too
the
many
kitchen.
pots, too many pots in the kitchen.
You gotta
You
take
know,
some out.
Right, we gotta take something out.
Baby, we gotta take all y'all out except for
This one,
right. Y'all go over there.
the 1%ers.
It's crazy, but any last thoughts? We're gonna close this again. We just wanted to have conversations
Yeah, just a
about
conversation.
what's going on. You know, these times. You know, if you're already going through stuff, it's like to hear stuff like this every day. it's kind of tasking on your mental.
Yeah.
That's why if we go back to the last podcast that we had with our worship experience, you got to have something of substance, and our substance we have God to help us, navigate through, these times because we definitely know who our source is. So, what are your thoughts? Any last thoughts on, the nation and anything you're hopeful about, or anything that you'd like to see?
I'm pretty hopeful that things can change and things will change. We just got to believe, and for those of us that are going to go through these hard times, these few years of hard time, just buckle down, take advantage of your investments, take advantage of. Don't be afraid to start your businesses. This is the time.
I like that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid,
I like that.
because fear can be your best motive. When you're afraid, that's the best time to do it. Step out and do it. So I would advise our audience, if you have a business plan, you have an idea of a business, this is the time. Do it. Don't be afraid. Do it in fear. I guarantee you, it'll work out for you.
Come on, Pastor Nate.
I like that.
that's
I
good.
give it a spirit of fear.
There you
of
go.
love.
There you go.
So
That's it, Dan.
So my thing is just find a, like, what they say? Can we all? What Rodney King say? Can we all just get along? You know what I'm saying? That's what I see. That just bothers me. I just want to see more of a middle ground. That's all I really want to see.
A middle ground.
I'm not expecting somebody that was born and raised over here in a higher class to think like me, and I was born and raised on 16th Street, who fought the claw to get to a decent lifestyle. I understand that, but don't think that because I'm sitting in this seat, I'm almighty.
Right.
And then everybody that's up under me, my pawns up under me, think the same way, that we diminishing anything that somebody else who don't think like me believe, and have a heart for people.
Exactly.
Some of these people I'm seeing in elected officials and higher ups, they are heartless. You talking about taking care of Medicaid, taking advantage of Medicare, Social Security, things like that, and FAA, you flying all these people in planes, running into each other. I mean, have a heart.
Have a heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's all I'm asking. Let's find a middle ground, and let's come up with something to make sure the people of this country are successful.
And one last thing for me. Make sure we take care of our seniors. They worked hard to get to
Oh,
where they
man.
are. And
Man,
Social Security
yes.
is something that they paid into every year out of their paycheck.
Yes.
Please, let's not take their money away from it. They put away thinking that it's going to be there when they hit 65, 70, and for it just to be gone.
Yeah, let's take care
So
of them.
let's take care of our seniors.
We definitely need to take care of our seniors, and even to that token, let's take care of our children.
Yes.
Yes, our seniors have worked their tails off to get to where they are, and they deserve
They
better.
deserve
And I'm talking to you as an Army veteran, and I've seen what they doing to us, and we go around the world to protect this country, and I see how they do us, and I see how they do the seniors, but I also see how they do the young people in this country. We've got some outstanding young people in this country, but they don't. They get put behind the curtain for the idiots.
Yeah.
You know, they don't get the kudos. But you can see the twerking, you can see the all these pranks and all this other stupid stuff that they're doing. When we really have some great young people that are coming up, let's nurture those people, because those are the ones that are going to take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When we get to that senior level, like we're taking care of ours,
Yeah.
those are going to be the ones to take care of us. So let's take care of them. And again, as an Army veteran, you know what I'm saying, I watched and I dealt with brothers and sisters in arms dying for this country, actually putting their lives. We signed a blank. This day we signed a blank check to protect this country. We want to protect this country for the right reasons. We go in with a right reason. We need the legislatures. We need the judicial system. We need the executive branch. We need all y'all to come together, man, and work for us like y'all said y'all was going to do. So we can make this country the great. I don't know about that Make America Great Again, because that didn't pertain to me. But we can make America great in the sense of bringing everybody together, man, and and making this thing work. I don't care what color you are, black, white, Latino, whatever it is. You know, we're all humans, and we all got a short time to be here. So it's like, why can't, like you said, why can't we just all get along, work together, and make this thing work? So again, this was Talk Time Size, just a little conversation, just to open up your ear palette, you know, and have you thinking about the things that are going on. Have a voice. Have a voice. You've got a voice. Have a voice. Start that business. Make that, put money away, you know, but enjoy life, you know, do what you have to do. We can't control what's going on, but I know who can.
I know we can
All
too.
right.
I know we can too.
So we're not fearful, but we're aware
Amen.
of what's going on. So any last words from you guys? Anything?
I'm brief recap. I gotta say what they said. It made me think about people that have done for profits like we have. They have put out there the atmosphere that they're scared.
Yeah.
And so I had to reiterate,
Yeah.
piggyback on what you just said.
Mhm.
You know, if you, and what Nate just said, if you want to start your own business, don't be scared because of the current administration. Don't speak failure before you even start your journey.
Right.
Go for it. You know, if you believe in God, read the word. He did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love and a sound mind. So go for it.
Go for it. The power of death and life is in the tongue.
In the
Yes,
tongue.
it is.
Go for it.
Speak. You're gonna either speak life or you're gonna speak death.
Yep.
God said to speak to that mountain and the mountain will be removed.
Mhm.
So you ain't got to climb up the mountain like the song says. You can speak that thing is moved with your tongue. So speak good things. Speak those things, those godly things, and those things are gonna happen. This country will turn around as more people start speaking it.
Yep.
So hey, thank y'all. We love you for listening to this conversation with my brothers, my man Nate,
Always.
the brain, the man, the CEO, the big boss right here, Dan. Of course, I'm your boy B. Wills Brian. Hey, we'll check y'all on the next time. Tune in for whatever we got next. Trust me, you're gonna enjoy it. Peace out.
Peace out.